mock schedules, I kind of like. This was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. So this is how I see the Steelers schedule playing out. And if you have any other ideas on how it could look, drop them in the comments and we'll talk about it after. So week 1, last year they started off at home for the first time in like 10 years. It always happens that the Pirates are playing at home on that weekend for whatever reason. And so if that's the case, the Steelers got to play away because they share parking. So the Pirates are playing at home the expected weekend for week 1. So looks like the Steelers will be on the road. And if that's the case, I could see them doing the Russell Wilson revenge game part 2 on Monday Night Football and running Steelers Broncos Monday night as part of the Monday night doubleheader for week 1. For the reasons I just said, they did it 2 years ago. The Steelers got to play away week 1 more than likely anyway. You might as well do it now. So Steelers Broncos week 1, Monday Night Football. I don't want that to be the case because I hate when they play on Monday night, much less when they open on Monday night. They opened on Monday night against Washington in 2016, and I was irritated. Oh, I hated it. So I'm going to be angry about this, but I think that that's a very big possibility that that's one of the Monday night games that week. Week 2, home opener against the New York Giants, 1 o'clock on Fox. If that's the case, I mean, that's a pretty decent shot the Steelers start off 2-0. The Giants are going to be bad. Like defensively, they got a little bit more fun because they added Brian Burns, but they've got no one worth anything playing quarterback. They don't have anybody at running back. Don't really have a ton of talent outside of Malik Neighbors at receiver. So home opener against a bad Giants team that might have the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft or the 2025 draft. I think they're going to be pretty bad. So that should be a win. So there's a good chance they start off 2-0. Week 3, another home game, their first divisional game against the Baltimore Ravens. 1 o'clock on CBS. A few years ago, they didn't play the Ravens. I think it was in 2022. They didn't play the Ravens until week 15. Don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll have an early game and then a late game against them. So starting off division play in week 3 against Baltimore. All right, week 4 at the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, another 1 o'clock game. Pittsburgh has not won in Philadelphia since 1965. And the last time they were there, they lost 35-13. The only touchdown they scored was a Chase Claypool touchdown pass to Derek Watt. So that kind of puts into perspective. The last couple times they've gone there, they've got the hell beat out of them. The time before that, they played in Philadelphia in 2016, and they got the absolute piss beat out of them by the Carson Wentz-led Eagles. So, yeah, playing in Philadelphia just isn't their thing. They haven't won there since 65. They play them in this mock schedule. I think they'll play them early in the season. So travel to Philadelphia week 4. Again, another 1 o'clock game on CBS. Okay, first late afternoon game. Week 5, traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. That one would be the 4:15, 4:25 kickoff. They've won the last 2 games against the Raiders, including last year in week 3 on Sunday Night Football. So, historically, the Raiders have had their number, especially over the past 2 decades or so, but the Steelers have won the last 2. And I think that an early season matchup between the Steelers and Raiders could go in the Steelers' favor. And you look at that early 5 weeks. I mean, the Broncos, the Giants, Ravens, Eagles would be tough, but the Steelers always play the Ravens well. And then the Raiders, I mean, there's a really nice chance they start off worst case scenario 3-2. So that would be a dream start in terms of the teams. You could realistically make the case they go 4-1. But 3-2 for those 5 would be great. Okay, second primetime game. This one on Sunday Night Football. Returning home, the Steelers host the New York Jets on Sunday night. The Steelers are 1-3 against the Jets in their last 4 games, but they do lead the all-time series 20-7. So historically, they own New York, but the Jets have had their number as of late. Yeah, Steelers hosting Aaron Rodgers. Those two great defenses. I think that would be a perfect candidate to put in an early October slot for Sunday Night Football. Week 7, I think they'll have an earlier bye week this year. So I think Week 7 feels. Actually, wasn't there bye week 7 last year? It might have been Week 8. It might have been Week 7. I didn't do that on purpose. But Week 7, their bye week. Week 8, I'm saying this will be their first game against the Cincinnati Bengals. It will be at home, 1 o'clock on CBS. I think the Bengals are going to be really good. I won't be surprised if the Bengals sweep the Steelers. So that won't be an easy game. Week 9, another primetime game. Thursday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. Commanders have played in some really bad Thursday night games over the past few years, so a mid-season Thursday night game feels right up their alley. Steelers playing Jaden Daniels, second overall pick. At least there's something for Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit to talk about there. I think it'll be a boring game. I think the Steelers should win that game. But yeah, Thursday night, Week 9 against the Washington Commanders. All right, Week 10, their second late afternoon game. Steelers hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. The last time they hosted Patrick Mahomes, he threw 6 touchdowns. And the last 2 games the Steelers have played the Chiefs, they've been outscored 78-31. So got to find a way to slow down Mahomes. So hopefully the defense comes to play. Hopefully the offense can put up some points. But if both defenses live up to their respective hypes, it'll be a lower scoring game than expected. So that'll probably be their toughest game of the year against the best quarterback in football, the 2-time reigning defending champions, Week 10, 4:25 on CBS. Okay, Week 11, I have Pittsburgh traveling to Atlanta to play the Falcons. This will be a 1 o'clock game on Fox. Again, I'm pretty high on the Falcons. I think that they'll win the NFC South pretty handedly, mostly because that division's not good. That won't be an easy game. They got a good defense. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. They got a lot of weapons on offense. So that'll be a game that, what can I compare it to? Remember in 2006, they went to Atlanta, Ben versus Mike Vick. The Steelers lost the game in overtime, but it was a fun game to watch and it was high scoring. Coffee break. Okay. Week 12. Another primetime game. Projecting that the Steelers will host the Browns on Sunday Night Football. That's the first matchup between the Steelers and Browns. Comes a little bit later in the year in Week 12. Didn't they play on Sunday night in 2022 at some point? Maybe I'm making that up in my head. I know they played the Browns on Monday night last year, so second straight year at least of the Steelers playing the Browns in primetime. And then the following week, their second matchup with the Bengals in Cincinnati. I think that'll be another 1 o'clock game on CBS right around Thanksgiving. And then the Steelers host the Chargers Week 14. I had a note for that. Maybe I didn't. They'll be seeing a lot of former faces. They'll be seeing Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, Greg Roman, 3 guys that they faced off consistently against when they were all in Baltimore. This is going to be Justin Herbert's first trip to Pittsburgh, now that I think about it. Because the last time they played was in Los Angeles. And the last time that the Chargers came to Pittsburgh was 2018. So Justin Herbert's first trip to Pittsburgh, a lot of local Steelers fans will get to see him for the first time, in person at least. Week 15, the Steelers wrap up their season series against the Ravens in Baltimore. Very well could be for playoff standing. I think both teams are going to be in the wild card hunt for sure. But the Steelers wrap up their season series with the Ravens in Week 15. Again, another 1 o'clock game on CBS. Week 16, the Steelers have played on Saturday in each of the last 2 years. So why not give them another one? Steelers host the Cowboys 4:25 Eastern on Saturday on NBC. The last time that the Steelers beat the Cowboys at home, they won the Super Bowl in 2008. The last time that they hosted the Cowboys at home was that atrocious game where Ben and AB connected on the fake spike touchdown, and then Ezekiel Elliott ran untouched with like 12 seconds left to score and win the game. So that was annoying. But the last time the Steelers beat the Cowboys at home, they won the Super Bowl. So just a fun little nugget. Week 17. By the way, week 16 would be their home finale. Again, you could probably switch week 16 and 17 in terms of how you'd want to do the order. If you wanted to give them the home finale in week 17 or 18, you can do that. But this is me just spitballing. Week 17, the Steelers travel back to Indianapolis for the third consecutive year they go to Indianapolis to face the Colts. We know what happened last year. Really, that was the first domino to fall that led to Mason Rudolph getting in. And then without that game, all the changes that were made this offseason probably don't get changed. So thanks, Mitch Trubisky. But I think the Steelers will go to Indianapolis week 17 again, another 1:00 game on CBS, and then they'll wrap up the season week 18 in Cleveland against the Browns. And then we'll find out if they get into the playoffs or not. So that is my Steelers mock schedule.